Hello and welcome back to my channel, where today we have something slightly a little bit different. I'm doing an FM18 experiment today. As some of you may or may not know, I am an Arsenal fan for my sins, and obviously we had the news last week where Wenger is either leaving the club, being sacked. I'm hearing kind of both sides. I think the official line is he actually was relieved of his duties by the board. So yeah, a list of candidates was put out. The rumour mill started churning around who's going to replace him. You know, is he still going to carry on managing, involved in football, involved in the club maybe in some level, who knows. So obviously Arsenal fan TV obviously got their way in the end, getting rid of Wenger. I do possibly agree it was time for him to go. In fact, probably a few years ago. In fact, obviously we've won a few FA Cups, but we've not been any contention in the league, Champions League. You know, we've got the Europa League this year, but that's really about it. Really, on the continental front, we've not impressed too much in that area. But I don't like the way this has all happened, the way it's been done, the constant calls for him to be out, particularly the Arsenal fan TV side of it. There's a lot of both sides. You see a lot of fans calling for him to go out, a lot of them for him to stay. My thing with him going now is, are there good candidates for him to, to replace him right now? We've seen people like Mourinho, Guardiola, just off the top of my head, Klopp, like that. They've gone to other clubs already. They're not available anymore. So the pickings now are not quite there what they used to be. And also, where we've slipped out of the Champions League, we've slipped out of the top four. Are we going to be able to lure the next level of the good managers? So that remains to be seen. Yeah, but back to Arsenal fan TV, not a big fan of it. I dread a loss on the weekend, because you go in the Monday morning, it's all over Facebook, it's all over Twitter, you've got people putting it in my face, oh look at this. It's just not a good reflection of the club. It makes a bit of a mockery of the club, to be fair. That's my opinion of it. They're entitled to their opinion, of course, but it's the way it's presented, it's the way it's done. And to be honest, a lot of them, I don't watch it that much, but from the bits I have seen, most of them look like they're people that probably started supporting Arsenal when it was all going well, invincible time, winning the league, being in contention, but it was either us or Man United winning the league, and they don't remember maybe the years before Wenger. And I think he's maybe not getting the respect he deserves in his departure. But enough about that. Well, to a degree, enough about that. You can't argue with what he did for the club. Some of the players he brought into the club. You got your Thierry Henrys, Petits, trying to think, Anelka, Overmars. Just an example. Obviously, there were some bad transfers as well. I don't know how much he was involved in the Sanchez deal, Ozil deal. I'm not saying they're bad deals; they're good deals. Obviously, there's some bad ones as well. You got your Stepanovs, Luzhny. Luzhny was okay, but not amazing. Stepanovs, yeah, there was many. They were notable. But he also prolonged a lot of players. Legendary players. Dennis Bergkamp, Ian Wright, the old back four, back five. David Seaman, he played on to, God knows what age it was in the end by the time he retired. Adams, Bold, they carried on. Dixon, Winterburn. So yeah, but where do I think Wenger will end up? He said it sounds like he's not going to retire. He's still going to carry on. Will Real Madrid, Barcelona finally get him? I remember early years of his Arsenal career, he was always being linked with them. He was always honoured his contract. He was always professional and a model person like that. He would always honour his contract. Don't think they're being for him now. With Barca at the moment with Valverde, and there's a few out there who are not a fan of what he's doing. Maybe Barca might go for him. I think possibly PSG could be one, though I've heard Thomas Tuchel could be heavily linked already. If that hasn't been announced already, I'm not too sure. He's on this list for Arsenal jobs. I'm not going to monitor him just because I think he's, from what I've heard and rumours I've heard, he has signed a deal with PSG already. I think a good one would be if Jardim, not sure how to pronounce, the guy at Monaco. He's obviously a potential for Arsenal as well. He'd be quite a good one. But I'm not putting him on there today. He's low on the odds. I've not heard much talk about that. But if he obviously was to go, Monaco I think would be a great one for Wenger as well. But obviously managed them previously, good history with them. So that'd be an interesting one. And I think the more likelihood is the national job, France national job. It's less intense than day-to-day management. I think that suit him well. Depends how they do in the World Cup this summer obviously, so that's another thing. The other thing is, will Arsene Wenger be involved in the decision for the next Arsenal manager? Will he have any input? Will it be like a Ferguson, the chosen one situation with Moise? I hope not. Not in terms of I hope not Wenger not doing it, but not Moise, obviously. I don't think he will. If the rumours that are coming out that are true, that he's been relieved of his duties, there's no reason the board would ask him for his input. Though there are people there, they have a massive respect for him, I think, internally. So maybe they will, who knows. I do have my own opinions who I think will be the Arsenal manager, next Arsenal manager. Some of them are featured in this list. I've got a couple that I think will probably be in the running. A couple I think I'd want to be in the running, but I'm not sure. I don't have complete faith in the Arsenal board. I think that's where a lot of the problems with Arsenal lie at the moment, is with the board, not just with Wenger. And it's a bit of both, but heavily the board. And I don't think they'll go for the ones that are probably better for the job. They'll probably go the cheap option, let's be honest. Someone who will bring him in some money and just be a bit of a yes man, maybe towards a bit like Wenger was towards the end of his tenure. So yeah, a couple of the others, like I say, I have simmed the games for those as well. So if anyone is interested in part 2, let me know in the comments section. Let me know, and I'll do a part 2 with some of those. You'll see, but basically who I don't do in this episode, pretty much who I'll be featuring. Just going on to the actual part now. I haven't looked at any of the outcomes of this, so it's going to be a complete surprise to me as much as it is to you when you watch it. And we're going to start with Max Allegri. He is the odds that I'm putting up on the screen that you saw, if depending how I edit this, they might still be on now. He was the favourite. The odds that I put up, I pretty much got them a snapshot of them, and they were gone within the hour. I went back to the website to look at it, and they were gone. So I don't know whether the betting was ceased trading or something. I'm not too sure, but obviously no news has happened since then. That was about 2 or 3 days ago, while I've been doing the simulations. It's probably for about 15 odd managers, 20 managers, I'm not too sure. I bought the editor just to do this specifically. I never had it before, never used it before. So yeah, we're going to start with Allegri. Obviously you can see I put myself in the game as Max Romero. Anyone who's following my Shakhtar Donetsk save will know he's my little wonder boy, little wonder kid striker, Argentinian guy. So I just thought I'd whack him in just for a bit of a crossover a little bit. So we're going to go first of all with Allegri. Is he still there? So if we just whack in Allegri, I could spell, that would be amazing. And he is still the manager of Arsenal. Probably will say first, because I've gone through to 30th of June, so I think it's gone to the point where the new season kicks in. So if we go to Premier Division and stages, last seed, who's come up just out of interest? Villa have come up. I can't spot straight away who's gone down as easily. Norwich have come up, and Wolves, unsurprisingly. So last season, Man United were the champions. He missed out by 3 points, but not a lot in it. One loss is the difference there. Well, yeah, one loss is the difference. The goal difference, 1 goal in it. The 3 goals in it. The 2 less goals conceded. I mean, and miles ahead. Well, not miles, but a good enough lead ahead of Man City. So Huddersfield, Burnley and Brighton, we can see, have gone down. So good start to his season there. We'll just pop back to the Arsenal screen and we'll have a look at the schedule. How did he get on? So he started blindingly well. Only lost to Atletico Madrid in the friendlies. I mean, not a massive amount. And we got Benfica in there, but not a massive amount. And he won the Community Shield against Chelsea. And he went a good lot of games. Obviously, he didn't lose that many, so we're not going to see a lot of, not even draw that many really, because we're not going to see a lot. We're going to see a lot of green here. Man City was the first points he dropped in the league, which was Man City, 1-1 draw. So nothing too shame. They were third. Lost to Man United. That is the difference, pretty much in this. They lost. Who did they get in their group in the Europa League? We're kind of sort of skimming this a little bit. We'll go back to the previous season and we'll go to the group stage. They were Group E, I think I saw. So they topped the group with Atalanta, who I like a lot because they got that Gomez guy. I like him a lot. Ooh, on 15 points each. and then Ziln, is it Ziln? Not too sure, and Maccabi Tel Aviv. So they went through their group. We'll get through to the knockouts as we go down the schedule. The Carabao Cup, they went out to Manchester United in the 4th round. Let's see, a lot more wins in the league. Yeah, lost to Atalanta there at home. A lot of wins. Next drop points away at Stoke. A lot of teams do. I don't know if it wasn't a Tuesday, a wet Tuesday, unfortunately. Liverpool at home dropped points. Bournemouth. So this little run here was pivotal in the season for the league, I think. But then obviously losing to Man United, and then in this little run of games here, probably not that many after this. Chelsea is a loss there. Man City got revenge on them, beat them there. Got a draw against Man United. I think if that had been a win, again the loss against Man United and the draw there, if they could have turned that into a win, we'd be looking at a very different situation. Obviously we're playing this with the new update of the transfer, all the new players that are there currently. So Aubameyang's in the squad, also reflecting as if it was a little bit like next season. Feyenoord in the first knockout absolutely destroyed them, 7 goals to aggregate. Then Dynamo Kiev, someone I know very well from my Shakhtar save, dominated them again, 7-1. Went out to the FA Cup at the 6th round stage against Tottenham. Not what you want to see. Fernando Llorente as well. Wow. Then we've got Ajax in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. Is that through? That's through on aggregate. A narrow, well, yeah, away goals possibly even as well there. No, aggregate. They did the job. Let's see. Porto again, who's someone I know very well from my Shakhtar game. They've given us a few problems over the last well, depending when you're looking at it, probably last season on my current save. So FC Porto 4-1 on aggregate, very well done there, and beat Milan in the final 3-0. That's not going to happen this year because obviously they're not in it. We've got Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Ross Barkley is there. We'll obviously do transfers in a minute, but that is surprising. 10.75 after just signing for Chelsea for 15. They made instant loss on him. So that's what we'll go and have a look in right now. We're going to look at transfers. Who did Allegri bring in? So we'll go to transfer history. It's going to show some signings this year. So signed that Arthur bloke. Obviously I signed him offline as well. That's for this season, so it's not really too telling. Lozano as well from PSV, but we need to go back to last year. So they bought Brahimi from Porto. Quite a lot of money, 28 years old, he's worth a lot. How did he do? He did quite well, 4 goals, 4 assists in 13 games. Did he come in the January? He come in the January transfer window, as did Ross Barkley. And then we've got Dendoncker from Anderlecht, all January transfers, didn't sign anyone in the summer. And he's, can play right through the middle of the team pretty much. 23 years old from Anderlecht. Didn't really make much of an impression for the money he paid for him. Any notable outs? And then he went to Hertha Berlin for, 12 and a bit after extras. And the rest of it was just loans really. So not much in the transfers. Allegri did a really good job with pretty much the squad that he inherited from Wenger. We'll have a quick look to see, did he bring anyone in staff-wise? Might look at this with some of the other players, but I'm not too sure. Steve Bold remained. Looks like he kept it as it was pretty much. Jens Lehmann's there. Yeah, he looks like he pretty much kept it like for like. Didn't make too many changes in that department. So yeah, he's come in and he's used what was there and really given it a good go. So what we need to quickly look, who replaced Allegri at Juventus? Luis Enrique, who is, I think, next on the list. He is indeed next on the list. I think he's next favourite as well, so that's interesting. And where did Wenger end up? Did he retire? Did he go somewhere else? Let's have a quick look. It doesn't look like he went anywhere in this one. I don't know if that's going to be a common theme or not. No, entire career finished at Arsenal, hasn't gone anywhere since. Runners up 2016. Is that, do you know what, my mind's a blank. Did we really finish runners up in 2016? That doesn't sound right. 2 years ago. Possibly we did. Was that the Leicester year? My mind's a complete blank now these days. That's absolutely crazy. So that's Allegri out of the way. So pretty safe to say he did pretty successful there. So we're going to crack on now over to Luis Enrique. So here we are, we're back now. We're going to take a look at Luis Enrique. I've loaded up the Enrique save. I've got about 15 or 20 different saves to try and... So it is hogging the the computer speed a little bit. So first of all, we are going to see, is Luis Enrique still in a job? We'll try and plough through these a little bit faster. I don't want this to be some hour-long video. He is still the manager of Arsenal. And let's see, got some amazing stats. Obviously, he's managed some good clubs, Barcelona. Was he Roma, I think, at one point? Let's have a quick look. Celta Vigo, Roma, yeah, Barcelona B, obviously. Celta Vigo, Barcelona, yeah, so he's managed some good clubs. So let's see, where did Arsenal finish in the Premier League last season? Go to stages, and last season. And he finished 5th. 71 points, so what's that, 19 points behind the leader, the champions Man City, who finished 3 ahead of United. Chelsea, Liverpool head there. He finished above Tottenham, so not all bad. We see Crystal Palace, West Brom and Huddersfield going down. So only one of the promoted teams going down. All very tight there as well. 2 teams on 32, Palace on 33 and Brighton on 33. Obviously a rivalry there, Crystal Palace and Brighton, and obviously I did a Crystal Palace save right at the start of my save. So not good to see them going down. And they're quite a local team to me as well, or they were before I moved. They're not too far, they probably are the closest, certainly Premier League team now. Let's see, so he's still in the job, he hasn't done too well on the league front. Let's see how he did in other competitions. So we'll have a quick scout through. So his pre-season went quite well. Same teams. Similar. He didn't do as well against Benfica. He lost to Atletico Madrid as well. Won the Community Shield against Chelsea on penalties. Dropped points against Chelsea. Let's see who he got in the Europa League. Europa League B stages. In fact, what I'll do, I'll go through this competition from here rather than going through the schedule. So, Group B, finished top, 5 points clear, so did better than Allegri on that front. He's got to win it to equal him, of course, but probably an easier group to a degree. Against Krasnodar and Rosenborg. Yeah, kind of strolled through that group really. So the first knockout, let's see, who did Arsenal get? Did he go out at this stage? No, he beat Copenhagen 4-0 on aggregate, 2-0 each leg. Nothing to really comment on there particularly. Second round, he 6-0 aggregate against Basel. Again, I mean, not the hardest of games, kind of getting a good run through. I just noticed San Sebastian. I think that is Sociedad, isn't it? I thought I did the name change on the game, but obviously not. Or it didn't, not the Spanish one anyway. Quarterfinals, won on penalties against San Sebastian, Sociedad, 1-1 aggregate. So getting through, we've got Villarreal, AC Milan and Barcelona. If Arsenal gets to the final, could we see an AC Milan final again? Who knows? Let's get to the semi-final. No, we don't, because he actually lost to them in the semi-finals, 2-1 on aggregate. So, and it's Villarreal beat Barcelona as well. Very interesting to see. So we're going to see an AC Milan Villarreal final. I'll just quickly go through that, see who won it. AC Milan 1-0. So we'll go back to the schedule. Carabao Cup. We'll do similar. Just do it this way rather than third round starts, isn't it? So Arsenal 2-0 against Derby, straight through. Fourth round, lost to Huddersfield, who obviously went down, didn't they? I think it says they're a championship team there, so it must be reading as what they are now. So yeah, they went down. Yeah, because Barnsley are in League One as well. See, they're championship at the moment. That hasn't happened yet. I think they're okay. They're safe. Wolves beating Chelsea. Interesting to see. Man United, yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary there. Let's see. Does he win? And we obviously won the Community Shield. He didn't win the league. He hasn't won the Europa League. The FA Cup is his last sort of hope, really. A good run there, sort of leading into Christmas. And it was the Christmas period actually that did them in. And that was something that Arsenal were always quite famous for. The Christmas period. sometimes in November, and then it was always normally a good run in the new year, just to scrape that 4th position. Some indifferent results, kind of inconsistent results really, so I'm so surprised he kept his job. Went to a replay against Newcastle in the FA Cup 3rd round, beat 1-3-0 in the replay, drew 1-1 in the first game there. Then 4th round went to a replay as well, West Ham. This is reading a lot like the fixture list of the 1998 FA Cup. If Newcastle was the final, obviously West Ham was the quarter final. Waiting to see Wolves now if we get through. Yeah, West Ham 3-2 after extra time. I don't know why I'm scanning through this one rather than going to the FA Cup, but Bournemouth 2-0, and then 6th round Watford 2-0. So going really well in the FA Cup. Semi-final 3-1 win against West Brom, and then so the final he did get to the final, and he won penalties against Man United in the FA Cup final after a 1-1 draw. Sounds a bit like the 2005, is it 2005? 2005 FA Cup final, I think it was, where a boring game against United and we scraped it on penalties. But Lacazette got an equaliser. Yeah, so he won the FA Cup. He's sort of followed the Wenger tradition a little bit. We'll see who he brought in transfer-wise. Transfer history there. So he brought in Harry Maguire from, no, that's this season, don't get too excited, and Bart Ramselaar from PSV. I recognise that name because I think it was second yellow card, did his AFC, I think it was his AFC Wimbledon save, and he signed him, and he was an absolute monster for him. A couple of loans have gone out this year as well, so it's last year we want to look at. So Lucas Torreira, I'm actually rocking his inform card on my FIFA game at the moment, my Serie A team, and he's pretty decent. But he's an attacking midfielder in that. He's more of a defensive-minded midfielder in this one. And did he do much? He did decently. Two goals, 5 assists in 29 appearances. Not bad for a defensive midfielder. Who else? We've got Dennis Mann from some young Romanian. Is that Steaua Bucharest? It is. Didn't feature much. 9 million, or 8 million, just over 8 million. Didn't really feature. Attacking midfielder, more of a right winger. An inside forward by the looks of it, because he's left footed. Likes to cut in, I presume. Yeah, both wings. So I'd say inside forward there. Yeah, definitely. Daniel Torres. I don't know this guy. Colombian, another defensive midfielder, which arguably is what Arsenal need right now. He's a good, strong, solid midfield, and some leaders as well. 17 leadership there. Exactly what Arsenal need right now. How did he do? Didn't do too great. Did they all come in January? But Torreira come in early, the rest were all January, and Vilhena from Feyenoord for nearly 14 million. He, again, didn't really have much of an impact. A lot of Dutch players coming in don't have a great impact. Premier League, there are obviously notable ones. Van Nistelrooy springs to mind straight away. Overmars for Arsenal, of course. Also, there's people like Kesman who didn't quite do it. Mavropanos, obviously in the news at the moment, played really well against Man United at the weekend. He's gone out on loan to Olympiacos. Yeah, so transfer-wise, not much to report. See if he changed the staff at all. Steve Bold, yeah, no changes there. I'm not sure we're going to see much changes in the staff. Let's see who replaced. No one replaced him because he's out of a job at the moment. He's on a sabbatical, doing kind of a Pep thing, leaving Barcelona and going on a bit of a break. But let's see where Wenger went. Did he go to a club or a country, in fact, in this save? Manager still, and he's got interest. Bayern Munich want him. Wow, so if he gets that, that'll be a really big job. I'm assuming it's Jupp Heynckes has retired or something like that, has left Bayern Munich for whatever reason. So yeah, a bit of an interesting one there. So on to the next one. It's Carlo Ancelotti, probably one of my favourites. I want to take the role. He's got Premier League experience. He's won things. He's won the Champions League. Just a good all-round manager. Obviously, he didn't have the best of time at Bayern this year. Got sacked just before Christmas. But I think he'd be a good one. So we'll go on to Ancelotti. So here we are. We're back onto the new save again. We've got Ancelotti simulation loaded up. So what we'll do, we'll just jump in. And we're going to have a look and see if he is still there. He is still manager of Arsenal. Let's have a look. So he's still there. It doesn't look like he did too well in the league, does it? Where did Ancelotti finish? 5th again. Again ahead of Tottenham. West Brom, West Ham and Stoke going down this time. Newcastle surviving by the skin of their teeth. So, Man United top, cleared by 4 points, ahead of Liverpool. And then we've got Chelsea sort of some way behind, Man City some way behind. And then Arsenal and Tottenham both on the same points, but Arsenal's goal difference far superior. It's the goals scored. I mean, apart from Man United, champions, Arsenal scored the most goals. The goals conceded against column isn't too bad. You know, Man City in 4th have got 44 against them. They've got 3 more than Chelsea in 3rd. Man United and Liverpool were just very stingy in defence, so that's obviously the difference. Liverpool didn't score, well, they did alright, but I mean, Man United 90 goals, I mean, that's just ridiculous, isn't it? So let's have a look at the other competitions. Let's see the schedule, see how Arsenal did. So we need to go back. So he did better in his friendlies, won them all, won the Community Shield, opened with a 5-0 win against West Brom. Yeah, doing really well. Drew with Chelsea. So let's see who we got in the Europa League. So finished top of the group, Group A. Wow, absolutely walked it. 1 goal conceded in the whole thing. That's with Nice, Copenhagen, and Sharif from Moldova. 16 goal difference, 17 goals in, 1 goal against. I mean, did the job, didn't they really? First knockout round saw Arsenal paired against Victoria Plitzen. 7-1 win, 3-0 in the second leg, so light work of that really. Let's see, knocked out in the second round to Monaco. Wenger's former club, of course, 5-1. So only so far we've had one manager win the Europa League. We've had one manager win, I think, the FA Cup. Yeah, so Ancelotti not doing a great job. You know, he's probably my first choice, and he's not doing very well, is he? So we'll go over to the Carabao Cup. Let's see how he got on in there. Went through against Villa, 3-1. Obviously, the FA Cup final a couple of years ago. That was actually on my... Was it the Villa one? The Villa one was my wedding day. So I was during the speeches, I was getting announcements from the Toastmaster giving me scores, and just midway through speech, just I think two of the goals I think went in through my speeches and through my speech, and wow, yeah, it was a mad day. Needed a few drinks for that, of course. Lost to Tottenham in the 4th round, 2-1. Seen a few losses to Tottenham Cups in this a couple of these simulations now. I'm not liking it. Good run of green there, sort of a couple of draws in the middle, but no losses. Obviously lost to Man United early on, in October. It was apart from that one loss, obviously Carabao Cup, outside in the league, it was a long time without losing. It was the FA Cup 5th round there again, so again not many losses until we get to this point here in March. The Europa League was part of it, but West Ham, who obviously I think went down in this save, didn't they? Lost to Tottenham there in the league. Is that only 3 losses this season? Did I not notice that? 4 losses, I miscounted. So it was the draws. It was the draws that did them. Also, that big run of wins, and there was a patchy period with some draws, but the losses were... they had half the amount of losses as Tottenham, more than half of Man City, same as the champions United, but it's just that draw column. It's the most draws in the league. So really, unfortunately, they're a bit more clinical in some of the games maybe, and we've seen a very different season there. Let's scroll down through FA Cup. Did we see the FA Cup? 3rd round Millwall 2-0. 4th round a 2-2 draw against Leicester, and then won the replay 2-0. 5th round lost to Man United. Okay, so Ancelotti, and then the run-in was a little bit patchy again. Lost to Tottenham, lost to West Ham again. Bournemouth as well. 3-3 draw into the season, another draw. A couple of those draws there, we'd be looking at a very different league table outcome. So what we'll do, we'll have a look at the transfers now, see who we brought in. So I've just seen, is that William Carvalho just come in? I'm not too sure. Kalinic from Ghent. I'm guessing that's not the striker one. No, it's not the striker one who played for Blackburn. This guy doesn't look amazing, but no, he looks pretty decent actually. I just never heard of him. He looks alright. I'm not sure he's worth the money paid for him, but he's did alright. But obviously that's this season, that's not too key. And Bellerin going to Man City for 63 million. Wow, that's big. But we'll have a look at the last season transfers. So again, he signed Ross Barkley as well. Bit of a strange one. 2 games for 12 million. Yeah, 6 million a game. Worth it, Ross Barkley. January. They're all January. Toornstra from Feyenoord. 20 odd million again. He again didn't really make much of an impact. Good hard working midfielder, so possibly again the leadership's not great, but a tough his tackling isn't tough, is it? He's not really the sort of player we probably need. Florian Coman, a striker, someone I've been trying to sign for Shakhtar, certainly in the first season. I haven't gone back for him since because we've got better than him now, but he's someone I've heard does quite well in the game. Still Bucharest got 18-16, so 1 in 2 game average. Gone to Arsenal for 3.5, hasn't played, so nothing to read there. Jorrit Hendricks, he's a decent defender. I thought he's come up as a defensive midfielder and defender. I had him down more as a defender, but maybe not. He's got decent leadership. Again, another tough attack, another good midfielder in there. So 2 games after signing, he's spending all his money. It makes you think: is that these managers buying these players, or is it the director of football? Not too sure. I'd like to think the managers in this situation, because I think Arsenal have just appointed a director of football in the last, I'm not too sure how long, but there is one involved now. I think he was involved in the Mavropanos still. It was done by a director of football, not by Wenger himself. And then Lozano, we've seen him signed, I think, already as well. He was signed the second season by, I think it was Allegri, off the top of my head. But he come in, did alright, 2 goals, 2 assists in 11 games, so a little bit better. Did he bring any staff along with him? He normally likes to bring that guy, Paul Clement, doesn't he, as his assistant, but he hasn't done it on this occasion. Again, no changes. I don't think we're going to see many changes in the staff. And then Ancelotti, there's no one to replace him either, so we don't need to look at that. And we just need to lastly for Ancelotti's part, we need to look at Wenger. Where did he go? He didn't go anywhere, and he is wanted by Bayern again. Have I clicked on the same save twice? This seems very familiar. But what we'll do, we'll end Ancelotti there, and we'll come on to the next one. So the one I've gone for here is Mikel Arteta. I'll be honest, I don't think he's going to be in the running. We need someone who's got experience of being a manager. Okay, yes, he's got experience of Arsenal. Wasn't overly fond of him as a player, to be honest. He was good at Everton, but I think he had a couple of big knee injuries. By the time he came to us, he was kind of on the decline really already. I don't think we're going to go for someone like that. And I think if he's going to leave. We could possibly see him as an assistant manager at Arsenal, but I don't see why he'd leave Man City. I think he's an assistant manager at Man City. I don't see why he'd leave that to come to us. Maybe he's coach. He might just be a coach, so maybe he'd come to us as an assistant. Who knows? But I think if he's going to go as a manager, the likelihood is probably Everton. If they get rid of Big Sam in the summer, we could be seeing maybe Arteta as coached. But again, it wasn't the same owners there at the time, so possibly not. But what we need to do is Arteta still in the job. Now, I didn't change any of his stats. I was about to say he's probably the most likely one to have been sacked, certainly so far. Hasn't been sacked, he's still in the job. Hasn't got great attributes. He does expect passing football, which Arsenal fans do like to see. So let's see how he got on in the league. Oh, this looks like another 5th or 6th situation here. So, go to stages. I'm going to try and, I've tried some minutes before, try and whisper through and not waffle on too much. So 5th, above Liverpool. Wow, 3 teams on 72. Tottenham one of them. Tottenham picked it this time. Man United again. Seems to be a bit of a common theme really. Chelsea 2nd. Who went down? Stoke, West Brom and Palace. So none of the promoted clubs went down. Newcastle doing really well. Huddersfield and Brighton, yeah, doing really well. And quite clear as well. Stoke 2 points back. Really tight with these bottom 3, and then Swansea could have been pulled in, but did enough in the end. So enough of the Premier League. Let's see how he did in the Europa League. We go to the current previous season. So again, lost to Atletico Madrid, but did really well in the other friendlies. Won the Community Shield. Everyone's winning the Community Shield. Couple of losses there. Bit patchy early days. Lost in the Carabao Cup 3rd round to Man City, his old club obviously. But Europa League, how did he do? We have a look at the group and see how he got on. There we go, top. So 18 points clear, smashed it, won all 6 games, not a goal conceded. did really well in the Europa League. Again, Bordeaux was a tough team, so to get two games and not even a concession of a goal against them was really good. We've got, I'm not going to pronounce it, Zuite again. I think someone's doing a save for them on one of the old CM games. I think it's Dave Black. I think it's Zuite again he's using. I try and keep up with that every now and then when I can. So shout out to you. He was one of the first blogs I started reading and really getting into blogging. When I did my blog the first time before I started the YouTube stuff, and Carabao in Azerbaijan. Yeah, he's got through. That's all we can say. He's done what he had to do there in that group. First knockout game, he got through 4-2 against Atalanta. 3-0 in this. Oh, so they were losing the first leg. He lost the home leg 2-1. So he managed to put it away and put it back in the second leg and just really hammer through. PSV lost 2-0 in the first leg. No, he didn't. He won 2-0 in the first leg. 1-3-2 in the second. 5-2 on aggregate. Shakhtar there we see him through against Fenerbahce. Yeah, it's good to see Shakhtar doing well. It'll be interesting to see if Arsenal get Shakhtar in this run. Let's see. No, both knocked out. Shakhtar to Lyon on away goals and Arsenal to Barcelona. No huge shame in that really. Why Barcelona there, I'm not too sure. They must have gone out their group stage. A bit shocking really. But quarter final, yeah, not too bad. Would like to see a good run again. Everyone seems to have this good run around October, November, which is Wenger's famous time to not get much going right. Black November, I used to remember it being called at some point. FA Cup third round, MK Dons. Fourth round, Middlesbrough. Fifth round, Bristol City. So doing really well in the FA Cup. 4-1 against Cardiff. Hasn't really faced a big boy yet. FA Cup semi-final, 2-1 against Man City. He finally does. Gets one over them there. The own goal by Laporte and Aaron Ramsey in the 90th minute to win it. They actually took the lead with Bernardo Silva. So FA Cup final, lost 2-0 against Man United. I think that's the second time we've seen that happen. So he's done okay. Let's see what he did in the transfer market. Did he do anything sort of noteworthy? So he signed Cedric from Southampton this season already. Brahimi again, we've seen that happen already. They're all January, I think. Yes, they are. He did okay. 1 goal, 2 assists in 11 games. Not too bad. Ziyech from Ajax. Player I really enjoyed on my Ajax save on FM 2016. Really enjoyed Ziyech, really good player. Ended up losing to Tottenham in the end. Quite big money though, so it wasn't too bad, and we had a good lot of young players coming through who just stepped up, but really good. 23.5 million, didn't do anything. And there's that Dutch league syndrome again. And Zagadou, I'm tempted in the edit to enter a black lace. No one's going to get it. There's not many people. I'm showing my age. Yeah, move on. Zagadou, I'm not going to sing it. Comes in from Dortmund, 12.5 million. Didn't really do anything. Again, he signed from their sort of youth team. Yeah, not much to say really. Transfer front hasn't maybe necessarily strengthened when he's strengthened. We're also seeing that no one's actually selling any players. Kind of keeping what I would say some of the dead wood around the club now, which is a bit strange to see. There are some players I'd say I thought would be, key to go. So let's see if he changed anyone. He didn't change anyone staff wise that I can see. I thought he might do, maybe get a bit more experience around him, but no, obviously not. Arteta, no one replaced him. Well, there might be a coach or assistant, but I'm not going to bother looking at that. And let's see where Wenger went. Did Wenger go anywhere in this game? It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look, and he's not interested in this game. No one's after him, so we're not seeing him go anywhere at the moment. Yeah, it's a bit strange. So that's Mikel Arteta done. We'll go on to the next one. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more to do in this part, so hopefully it won't be too long a video. Like I say, if you do want to see a part 2, let me know and I'll do that. Got some other ones which you'd have seen who I've missed out, but I might just recap some of them at the end. But on to the next one. So for this one we've gone for Brendan Rodgers. Bit of a strange one. I don't know if I would want him at the club or not. He did okay at Liverpool. Some Liverpool fans I know disagree with that. Some really rated his tenure there. I'm not too sure. I do have a bit of a soft spot for Celtic, and obviously he's doing really well there, but I mean, my mum could go to Celtic and win the league there. It's so uncompetitive, as we see Graham Bertie at Rangers' job insecure. Obviously I think just been sacked, or probably not going to be managing this weekend, certainly from what I'm hearing. I do keep a little bit of an eye on Scottish football where I can, mostly Celtic. So yeah, I'm not too sure about Rodgers. I don't know. He's got great character. He's a lovely person, but not too sure about his Arsenal. But let's see, did he survive the first season? And he is the manager of Arsenal, so we've not seen any sackings yet. Arsenal board keeping to their way of not sacking anyone. And again, it's not a very high. There's no captain. I think I noticed that maybe on a couple of them. I just didn't mention it. It looks like another low season of Premier League. No one's really. We had that one. I think it was at Allegri, wasn't it? Done really well, but no one's really followed suit. Sorry, my voice went a bit Sean Dyche then. Obviously had some gravel for lunch. I mean, Arsenal way above Tottenham in 6th. They finished 5th, and 1 point off 4th. It's all really tight up there. It's 7 points separate 1st and 5th, which isn't something we've seen as yet. Huddersfield, Swansea and Palace going down. Yeah, really tight season at the top there. So how's Arsenal looking? Pretty much on par with the goals scored, goals conceded really well. Only behind Chelsea in the goals. I'm turning to Sean Dyche again. One moment. Maybe I should just do this whole bit now in the Sean Dyche voice. So let's see how he got on in the other competitions. We go to the schedule, and wrong season. I was just about to look at it and say he did really well. There's no results there at all. Friendlies have changed up a little bit in this one. I thought they were going to be the same the whole way through, but they have changed up a little bit. Won the Community Shield against Chelsea. Good run of games in the league. Didn't drop in points until West Ham here. Got another good run. Carabao Cup 3-2 against Tottenham. We'll have a quick look at that first. So yeah, we saw 3-2 against Tottenham. Nice to see that happen. For a change, we've seen them losing a few in these. 2-0 against Birmingham in the 4th round. I don't know what I've done that for. Quarter-finals, 2-0 against West Ham. Semi-finals, 2-1 on aggregate against Man United. So final against Man City, which obviously actually happened this season. This obviously is a simulation of this season, trying to make out of next season. But so let's see if we get a different result in the Carabao Cup. 3-2. No, Man City still win it. I think they actually won that game. I tried to forget that game pretty much. I'm pretty sure they did a better scoreline than 3-2. Like I said, I tried to just put that game out online. I wasn't too bored about the Carabao Cup, to be honest. But a trophy would have been nice, especially if it carries on this season, if we don't manage to overturn Atletico Madrid in 2 days' time as I'm recording. So we've got the Europa League. I don't know if onto the first qualifying, we'll go to the group stages, see who got in the group. Finish top, Zoya. Obviously another team from our Ukraine Shakhtar Donetsk save. Didn't lose a game, conceded 1 goal. We're seeing that quite a bit in the group. Very dominant in the groups. Hertha Berlin and Young Boys Bern. Not much to say, got through that group comprehensively. First knockout round. 6-1 win against Zenit. So another Eastern European team, another big away day there. So a tough couple of sloggy trips for Brendan Rodgers and his team full of characters. 4-1 aggregate to Atletico Bilbao, a bit closer to home this time. 3-0 in the away leg. So it's 1-1 in the home leg. So Bilbao went into that game in the driving seat, but couldn't do it. And then a 2-1 against Liverpool. We see Tottenham are still in there as well. So a couple of Italian teams, were in there. So we're looking at, still are AC and Roma. So two London teams and 2 Italian teams. Let's see who pair up. Arsenal beat Roma 2-0. A result I'm sure Liverpool fans will be happy about. I think it's tomorrow as I record. Yeah. Obviously by the time this comes out, you'll probably know the outcome of that game already. I'm hoping I'll get it out tomorrow before, but I'm not highly anticipating it. But Tottenham in the final of the Europa League, please. And they do 1-0 at the, I don't even know where that is. 1-0. Who got the goal? Because Chelsea in the 38th minute. Wow. Beating Tottenham in the Europa League. So Rodgers is doing okay. He's doing okay. Now he just needs to maybe add the FA Cup onto that, because obviously he hasn't done well in the league. FA Cup third round, Chesterfield 3-0. Then we've got fourth round, Bristol City 4-0. Fifth round, Bournemouth 2-1 loss. So not great, but league form, yeah, got a little bit patchy around the end. Bit of a bad run in well, I mean, look at that end. Tottenham, Man City and Man United. I mean, that is just horrific. Wouldn't wish that on anyone. So only got 1 win out of 9. 3 points out of 9, rather. But let's see who he brought in player-wise. He's gone back to Liverpool. Got Nathaniel Klein coming in this season. Matt Macy has left. Nearly 40 million for Nathaniel Klein. He was a player I thought Arsenal would have signed from Palace when Liverpool signed him. For some reason didn't. Had a bit of a need for a right back at the time. I think we ended up going. Was that when we went for Debussy instead? Wasn't the right. No. Less said about that, the better. So we got Juan P from Malaga. I'm probably slaughtered that name. He's Venezuelan attacking midfielder. Something we need, of course. Centre attacking midfielder. We haven't got enough of those. He did good average rating, 3 assists, no goals in 11 games. It's not too bad. Lozano again seems to be a popular signing for Arsenal. Makes me think the board are behind it. 3 goals, no assists in 11 games, not too bad. And Scarpia from some Brazilian team. I don't know which one that is. I can't remember because again I haven't done the Brazilian name fix. SEP. So he signs okay average rating, 1 goal, 2 assists in 11 games. Another attacking midfielder. Yeah, I don't know what Rodgers is on. He likes his attacking players, obviously. Let's see if we brought any staff changes in from Rodgers. I doubt it. No one that stands out. Let's see who replaced good old Brendan at Celtic. My odds, who would be likely? Roy Keane? Someone like that, maybe? Who knows? Gerardo Martino, the old Barcelona manager, and O'Neill's old boys. I think was he the guy that managed Messi when he was like a young lad? Atalanta United, Barcelona, Argentina, Newell's, Paraguay. I mean, very highly decorated manager, and he's gone to Celtic. Wow, good coup for Celtic. And let's have just to finish this off, let's see where, I don't know, I've gone to the Premier League there. Let's see where Wenger went. Nowhere. And he's not wanted. So, wow, another one where he's not wanted. So that's the end of the Rodgers simulation. We've got 3 more left. Just counting them down. And we'll go on to the next one now. So here we go. This is the, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th one. 6th of 9. No, of 8. I was trying to cut the list down a little bit more, but it was a bit tricky. But we've seen there, Conte's job is under trouble at Chelsea, so obviously he's not had a good season, or he's done something to mess up, I'm not too sure. But this one, in my heart, I want this to happen, but my head just says, no, it's not going to work. We've got Patrick Vieira, and I've put Thierry Henry as his assistant manager. I think they're both being talked about in their own cases, but I think if Vieira come in, he'd need someone alongside him who knows Arsenal as well. I'm not too sure. I don't know. He's not done amazing at New York City. I don't think he hasn't won any of the titles there. I don't think they're up for grabs. I mean, it's so complicated there. Maybe he has. But yeah, he's got some good stats. I think is Thierry Henry still there? Let's have a quick look. He's not. Colin Pascoe is there now. I am fair. The only thing I can think of is, let's have a quick look. I must think Thierry Henry must have taken the manager's job. I'm certain I put him in. I did. He lasted a month and 2 days, and he's gone. Released on a free. Wow. So Vieira just didn't fancy the look of him. He's brought in Colin Pascoe, Liverpool's assistant manager, a couple of years ago. Strange decision. So this experiment has already taken this one's taken a bit of a downturn already. Where were we going? We've got kind of a little bit of tangent here. So let's see how Vieira did in the Premier League. First and foremost, second, a point behind Man City. Wow, very unfortunate. it was the draws again that were just the difference. A couple of those into wins, and we'll be looking at the first champions. Huddersfield, Palace, and West Ham even go down. I mean, West Ham by a country mile down. That's the Moisey effect, isn't it? Wow, so Vieira does a really good job in this save. So let's go and see how he got on in the other competitions. We did notice there's another staff change there that I can tell straight off. No, nothing that jumps out anyway. So last season, friendlies similar to the last guy, slightly different to the others so far, but yeah. Chelsea Community Shield again. Everyone's winning the Community Shield. Makes me think we're going for it and the Chelsea aren't. A couple of draws in the league. Young boys in the group. Let's see how got on in not seedings, stages. Let's see how we got on. We got in the full draw. Let's see. Scroll down. Finish top. No loss, no draws, no goals conceded. I mean, Vieira's just doing what he needs to do, isn't he? He's doing what he did as a player, just steamrolling through everything. Young boys located in Moscow and AIK in Sweden. Did his job, got through, no problem. So who do you get in the first round? I'm looking through to look for who's got through. I'm hoping we got through first. Sociedad again, 3-0 in aggregate, 2-0 in the away leg. So tight first leg, but at home, but did the job in the second. Then it's a 7-1 aggregate against PSV. We've seen PSV a couple before as well. Dynamo Kiev there getting through, so that'll be interesting to see. Shakhtar haven't dropped down this time. Quarterfinals, 3-0 against Kiev. Good to see, like that. Leaving Red Bull Leipzig, Dortmund and Lazio. So can Vieira go? He does. 6-2 aggregate against Leipzig, leaving Lazio in the final, which I think was something that could happen in Europa League until the last round. I think Lazio got knocked out by, I want to say Salzburg, who are currently getting knocked out by, who's the other team in the semi? Is it? It's not. No, Dortmund got knocked out by them, didn't they? I can't remember who. Is it Leipzig possibly? I'm not too sure. Top of my head. Like I say, my brain's just mush at the moment. Not getting much sleep and just general work being really busy and crazy. But a 3-0 win. He gets the win. He gets the Europa League. And wow, yes, yeah, so Lacazette with the goals, Wilshere and El Neni. We've seen a bit of a glimpse of a signing there. I'll do that next once we've gone through the other tournaments that Arsenal is managing. So beat Wolves in the Carabao Cup, I noticed there, but we'll go through properly. Compared to last season. Yep, so beat Wolves on penalties, 2-2 with Desmond there. 1-0 against Everton in the fourth round. The quarterfinals next, and a 2-1 win against Man City. Or look at that, Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, Tottenham in the last four. Arsenal, Man United both come out on top on aggregate. Chelsea and Tottenham go home. Well, Tottenham go back to Wembley, but you know. And Arsenal win. Arsenal lose 1-0 to Man United in the Carabao Cup. So, a good run, but a good run of wins here. Again, we're going to see that because they didn't drop many points this season. So, draw against Watford. Again, that's what we're talking. A couple of draws. Good run again. Obviously, it's in all competitions, but good run. It's that Man United defeat again. And Everton, a little bit of a patchy period around this point. Lost in the FA Cup third round to Sunderland. Perhaps was thinking of bigger things at that point. Semi-final of the Carabao Cup was there. Also not saying it's big in the FA Cup, but it's a further stage. Europa League was coming back round, and just a really good trying to get the league track back on performance. The league performance back on track rather. Lost to Burnley at the end. It was disappointing, and Man City draw sort of cost it as well. But he's done well. He got the Europa League. He got the Community Shield. He got to the final of the Carabao Cup. So far, I'd say that's probably the most successful one so far. Although I'm gutted that he got rid of Thierry Henry as assistant manager. I think that could have been really interesting. But we'll move on. No, we're not moving on to the next one yet. We need to see who he signed. Jumping the gun a little bit there. Jumping the gunners a little bit there. Mamadou Sakho. Sorry, Budunch. Crystal Palace, Mamadou Sakho, 32 million in the end. I mean, I did have him in my Palace save. He was pretty strong in this game. Then we got Brahimi. Again, he's someone that's signed a few times. Did decent 8 assists. It's best I've seen him do so far. And we've got Mamadou Sakho. He's 28 years old now, so a lot of money for him. He didn't play. This is this season's, that's why. So Brahimi did well last year at Porto. Ignore me. Yeah, brain mush. So Donny van der Beek from Ajax comes in 31.5 million. Didn't do too much. Again, I remember him from my Ajax save. He was a decent player, if not amazing. Probably not the sort of centre midfielder Arsenal need right now. He's probably more of a younger replacement for Santi Cazorla in that middle. Someone a bit more creative rather than a tough tackler. But then we've also got Johnny. Plays anywhere across, but I think he's primarily a right back. Worth 40 odd million now. Signed him for 25.5, and he did well. In 12 games. Again, I think these are all January. Yeah, they're all January deals. 2 of them are deadline day by the looks of it. And then we've got so another centre back. I'm not even trying to pronounce that. And did he feature at all? He did. Didn't do too much. So, but he's already. Most of those are probably sub appearances. Let's be honest. Again, no sales out. We're not seeing any sales out from the Arsenal players. We've looked at staff, haven't we? Let's see who replaced him at New York FC. I want that to come up like that. No, it did. Just a bit slow for some reason. Ben Olsen. I mean, it's probably not going to be quite as useful. No idea who he is. We'll just gloss over that. And then the last bit of this particular simulation is, where did Wenger go? Did he go anywhere? No. This is madness. I really thought someone would go for him. Maybe he's not interested. Who knows? But with that said, we're going to go on. We've got 2 more left of this particular part 1, or if there is only one part, yeah. So we've got 2 more left to go. We'll come back for the penultimate one next. Now, this one is an interesting one. I would have said never in a million years. Probably does give the best chance of winning the Champions League for us, which probably gives you a bit of a clue. Won the Champions League with Liverpool, and I think the Europa League with Chelsea. I might be wrong on that. Chelsea fans didn't take to him, but he's done bits at Newcastle. They got relegated. He stuck with them, and he didn't have a chance of keeping them up. Went down with them, brought them back up. Did he bring them back up as champions? I think he may have done. And they're going really well this season. I think they're mathematically safe now. I know Ed from Ted Redwood Gaming probably isn't going to enjoy this bit too much, because I'm fairly sure he'd rather keep Benitez at Newcastle. But yes, Rafa Benitez. Obviously, if you didn't work it out before, then shame on you. Really, you're watching the wrong sort of videos. But he's still there. Again, no sales, no sackings just yet. Again, by the Arsenal board. Signs many youth players. Probably true. Doesn't play many of them. In my memory. Large senior squad. Yeah, that pretty much sums him up. So let's see how Arsenal did in the league under Rafa. Again, it looks like a 5th place, and quite a few of these low positions. So go back, and it's 5th again. Again, some way ahead of 6th, who is Liverpool this time. Tottenham finished 3rd. Man United win the title by 2 points. Tottenham 3rd, 6 points behind. Is there anything that's cost? It's a lot of draws again. Losses are on par. It's the draws, by the looks of it. I mean, we're not talking a huge difference back. We're talking 10 points back off the champions, and a point back off 4th and 4 off 3rd. So not a horrific season, but not great. West Brom, Swansea and Huddersfield go down. Newcastle without Benitez. Let's have a look. We'll do that bit now. Philip Cocu replaces Benitez. Does an alright job, gets 16th. Fairly clear point-wise. League position is not as great as it should be, but it's a little bit deceiving. A lot of goals conceded, so possibly want to improve on that next year. We're going to have a chance of staying up. So let's have a look how he did in the other competitions. Old Benitez. So we scroll back to last season. Back to this run of fixtures. Did really well. Again, lost to Atletico Madrid. Penalties in the Community Shield. And a bit of a sticky run in the Premier League at the start. I mean, Chelsea's in there, so just beating them, but get a 0-0 draw. And then Hoffenheim in the Europa League. no mean feat. Where's Arsenal? Zoya again, who do finish second. I do like Zoya. I've mentioned it in my Shakhtar saves. I'm trying, although I'm not managing them, they're in my league. I'm trying to loan them a few players just to get them up and running again strong, because they are a good adversary. No draws, no losses, no goals conceded. Probably the most goals scored with that as well, 19 in this one, Benitez. So he does like those at continental competitions. Ludogorets, Hoffenheim and Zoya succumb to that. We go to the first knockout stage. Can Benitez carry that run on? Does, with a 6-1 aggregate win against Maccabi Tel Aviv. In the second round, we're looking at a 4-0 win against Ajax. I think we've seen Ajax pop up once or twice as well. 5-1 aggregate win against AC Milan. Wow. Okay, so we're going to the last 4 of Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham and Sporting. So a heavy Premier League English presence in there. Arsenal beat Tottenham 3-2, while Liverpool beat Sporting 5-1 on aggregate. So it's an Arsenal-Liverpool final. Probably the last time an Arsenal-Liverpool final was the FA Cup. Yep, 2003. I'm not even going to think about that. I hated that FA Cup final. Think how many FA Cups Wenger could have had if he didn't lose that one, and I think there was one other. Well, we could have had a ridiculous FA Cup record. I mean, he's got a ridiculous FA Cup record anyway. The final, Liverpool win 1-0. That's disappointing. Roberto Firmino just after half time. And we've just actually got a spoiler on one of the transfers there. I'll try and kick off as quick as possible. Please don't go back and pause and have a look, because we'll try and keep it as a surprise. But it was very surprising. In the Carabao Cup, go to last season, third round. I saw Brighton was the first game. 2-0 win against Brighton. Comprehensive really, just did what had to be done. 3-2 win against Bristol City in the fourth round. Quarterfinals, 3-2 win against United, so that's really good. Huddersfield, they're in the championship now, they weren't then. Yeah, it does update because Wolves were promoted and Huddersfield's gone down. So it doesn't show you what league they're in at the time, it shows you where they are now, which is confusing. We win 1-0 against Huddersfield in the semi-final, while Chelsea beat Millwall. Whoa, feisty game that would have been. So it's Arsenal-Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. Obviously Arsenal 1-0 up in competitions with the Community Shield this year. Can they make it a double? No. Extra time, 2-1 win to Liverpool. Chelsea. For some reason I can't view the fixture. Don't know why it hasn't saved that. So we scroll through. A bit patchy. Has a bit of a run. Loses to Tottenham. No fans aren't going to like that. Arsenal Fan TV would have been going ballistic after that, I'm sure. Demanding Benitez's head probably already. A good run of wins here. Sort of picks things up a bit. Or a very good run of green. Look at that. 1-1 draw against Everton, and it goes back to green. And then it's a 3-2 loss to Man City. FA Cup third round, Gillingham 3-0. We'll go in this way and have a look at the FA Cup, because I think we might well be looking at a possible cup run here. So 3-0 against Gillingham. And then 2-0 against Brighton. Fifth round, 1-0 against Leicester. The sixth round, lost 2-1 to Liverpool, his old team. And of course he lost the final to Liverpool against his old team, Europa League. So I'm pretty sure it was Liverpool, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm fairly sure it was. So who did Rafa bring in player wise? And should we have a quick look at staff? Did he change anything? He did. He brought in Antonio Gomez as assistant. Who was he in Newcastle? He was. He's a coach at Newcastle. He's brought him in as assistant. Looks like he's followed him everywhere pretty much. So that's the first time we've seen that. I think his fitness coach might be his as well, but I'm not going to bother click on him. We don't know who he is particularly. Transfer history. Who did Rafa bring in? So again, Macy's gone. Sisto from Celta Vigo's come in this year. He's Midtjylland, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. And yeah, not too excited by that proposition, to be honest. A bit of a strange one. But they're all January. Kieran Tierney is the right back. No, the left back. Left back at Celtic. Do you know what, Tierney? I got confused. I said it was interesting. I thought it was for some reason I read Trippier. I thought it was Kieran Trippier from Tottenham. But of course it's Kieran Tierney. He's a really good player in this version of the game actually. I've never signed him, but I've seen a lot of people play with him, and I've seen him
go to all sorts of teams in the saves I've played and stuff. So good signing. Didn't do amazing, but not terribly. He'll just get better though. Luis Alberto from Lazio. I think, didn't they play? No, it was on a different sim. I think I've got this guy's inform on FIFA again. It's not as good, not as impressive as my Gomez card. And the other one I mentioned earlier, who I forget now. Zadas, I signed him offline on my Arsenal save, and he never made it. I ended up sending him on the cheap to Newcastle, so I don't think I'm too excited about that one. We've got Louis Schaub, Austrian attacking midfielder. He can play across all three parts, so that's quite good. Didn't really do much. And then Almiron from Atalanta United, managed by, I forget now, who was it? Was it Luis? That wasn't Luis Enrique. It's the guy who managed Barcelona and went to Celtic and never saved. I can't remember his name off the top of my head now. It'll come to me very shortly, I'm sure, and I'll end up just shouting it out. Centre midfielder from Paraguay, Almiron. Again, not overly enamoured by him, not overly impressive. So let's have a look. Who replaced Benitez, didn't we already? We saw that. It's Philip Cocu. So let's see if Wenger in this one ended up going anywhere and doing anything. It doesn't look like he did. That's the end of the penultimate one. What we'll do, we'll come on to the last one now. This one, please God no. There's probably going to be a little clip here, a little skit picture I'm going to put up, just summing up how I feel about this one if this one goes ahead. Yeah, we'll come back for the last one now. Yeah, so this is the last one. You probably saw my skit picture if I did manage to remember to put it in the edit. Louis van Gaal. I mean, this guy, historically, fantastic manager. Barcelona, I think it was Ajax, great manager. Didn't do so well with Holland, but then Holland haven't been too good in the last couple of years anyway, so that's not overly surprising. Man United won the FA Cup, didn't really do much else. I don't think the fans particularly took to him, particularly liked him. I might be wrong, but stuff I'm reading is he's on the verge of signing a big deal with a big club. Please don't be us, because he's talking about only wanting to go back to the Premier League to get revenge on Man United and pay back for them sacking him. I don't want someone who's in it just to get one over on Man United. In the league and all that in competitions, absolutely fine, but personally and all that, no. I want someone who wants to be at Arsenal because they want to be at Arsenal. Someone who's got an interest in the club. Someone who actually wants to do the job, not just as a personal vendetta and a second agenda to it. So we'll have a look, see if he survived, and hopefully he's the first sacking, just vindicating that he shouldn't get the job. He is still there. Yeah, the board aren't going to sack anyone, are they? It'd be interesting to actually, I might do the part 2 just for the sake of it, actually. Not for the sake of it, obviously if there's demand I'll do it, but it'd be interesting to see if Wenger does actually ever go to another club, and B, if the board actually ever sack anyone. What's it going to take for the board to sack someone in this save? Quite a lot, it seems. So we go to stages. 5th, we've seen that a lot. 11 points clear of Liverpool in 6th. 5 points away of Chelsea in 4th. And Man United just steamrolled it. So there's your payback, Louis van Gaal. They got 90 points with a goal difference of 56. You didn't get your payback on them at all. Stoke, Huddersfield and Brighton go down, so two of the promoted teams go down. Let's have a look how he got on in other competitions. I not particularly care. I don't really care about Van Gaal. He actually got the best result against Atletico Madrid. Did all the other games like everyone else. Won the Community Shield. Decentish start, lost to Chelsea. Group K of the Europa League. So we'll remember that as we go here. We won't bother looking at all the others, obviously. It'll take forever. Hertz Berlin again, we've seen that. Field to roll in Romania and Bordeaux in France. He lost one game, which was, is it going to show me? No, it's not. Goal difference 8, 15 points. We got through, did the job. I'm not going to judge too much on one loss in the group. 4-1 against Monaco in Super. I mean, that's a fantastic result. Let's be honest, not going to lie about that one. That's impressive. The second knockout round, 3-2 against Bilbao. I think it's at this point here, is it that... No, maybe not. I was thinking whether the clubs drop out, but Lazio 3-1, 3-2 aggregate win. Looking at Tottenham, AC, Olympic Marseille, and Arsenal in the semis, and Arsenal succumb to Atletico Madrid 4-1. AC Milan, not Atletico Madrid. Got Atletico Madrid on the brain. I've got the Europa League game coming up I want to watch on TV. So Olympic, but Marseille beat Tottenham, so every silver lining, I guess. Sorry for all the hate on Tottenham. No, I'm not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. I'm sure it'd be the same the other way around, and I wouldn't begrudge that at all. So Carabao Cup. Let's see how we got on in that. So 1-0 against Swansea, and then we've got an extra time win against West Ham in the 4th round. Quarter-finals is penalty win against Watford. So getting to another end stage of the tournament. Not really playing anyone. Man United are in the final, so as will Arsenal, 5-3 aggregate on Preston. No wipe on there. And can they win the Carabao Cup? Can he get his revenge? He doesn't get his revenge in the Carabao Cup. Loses 2-1 to Man United. Probably won't let me click it. No, doesn't seem to let me click on the Carabao Cup results. So good bit of run of form there. A couple of a loss there and a draw against Man United. Good run of green again. Good run of wins. Hertha Berlin obviously was the loss in the Europa League. There we can just see 1-0 at home. Started to get a bit of patchy form, but another good run again. A couple of losses around the new year. FA Cup 3rd round to Man City straight out. Bit patchy in the start of the new year. A lot of similar sequences: 2 wins, loss, 2 wins, loss, 2 wins, draw. Yeah, very patchy form, and then didn't end it very well with the loss in the Europa League semi-final, and obviously the last game. Well, won the last game against Everton, but the one before that was a bit of a disappointment, not ending on a high. But that didn't really make much difference. I think the damage was done in the league. It wasn't going to change it. But he's gone back to Holland with the transfers. He signed Justin Kluivert for 9 million at the start. Isn't bad. It's going to cost about 25.5 before the add-ons go through and mean anything. Let's see who we brought in for the actual season. So all January, we've got Hannes Wolf, attacking midfielder primarily, young guy, wonder kid in fact, signed from Red Bull Salzburg. Didn't do much in his Arsenal part. He was doing quite well before he moved, but not quite fitted in at Arsenal. Probably a lot of sub appearances. Urza was more than likely ahead of him. And we've got Daniel Podence, a Portuguese attacking winger. Again, looks really good. Was he from Sporting Lisbon? He did really well. 4 goals, 3 assists in 12 games, 30 odd million. So that's more like it. And we've got Ricardo Esagio, not too sure. Well, he can play pretty much anywhere on the park. He can probably ref the game as well. Primarily a right back by the looks of it. Didn't do too great after his signing from Braga. It's a bit of a strange one. And again, it's just all loans out. Let's see if he did anything with staff. No, nothing jumps. And there's no one for him to replace. So let's see if Wenger finally jumps straight into a job. He's the manager of Liverpool. Okay. How long has he been the manager of Liverpool? March. Okay. So he did take over in this first season. So where's Klopp right now, I wonder? I'm guessing, because I've seen it happen on a few, like not this sim experiment. Was he sacked? Sacked. Why was he sacked? Manager of Liverpool. Wow, they finished 9th. I didn't even pick up on that. Did we look at the Premier League thing? I'm pretty sure we did. I just didn't even pick up. No, they were 6th. Were they 9th when he was sacked? Maybe that's what it was. So they regrouped under Wenger, finished 6th. Nearly got that famous 4th spot he was very famous for. But yeah, so that's the end of the experiment. certainly this part anyway. Like I say, I may bring part 2, just if I want to see how some of the others went. Maybe if there's a bit more talk of some of the other managers in the press in the next day or two, couple of days. There's the likes of Thomas Tuchel. Who else did I miss? I've got a complete blank. It would have been on the page at the front. I did most of them. The only ones I didn't do were Conte and Domenico Tedesco. Tedesco's at Schalke. I don't think he's a likelihood. And Antonio Conte, I think if he's going anywhere, he'll probably be Italy manager. So yeah, if you enjoyed this content, this experiment, please drop a like on the video, drop me a sub to my channel to catch up on if I do the part 2, any other experience that might come to mind. Oh, obviously I've got my Shakhtar to Glory save currently running as well. Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays most weeks, well every week so far I think. I've been quite consistent with that. Yeah, so any comments as well you want to leave me, anything about this video, anything in general as well, I'd be more than happy to read those and reply to those as well. So yeah, until next time, which will be probably a Shakhtar the next video if you tune in, I will see you next time. Take care.